Well, good morning, YouTube friends and family, and welcome to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader. So, it's fairly early in the morning, it's a little after 7. So, I thought I would share with you some of the things that I do in the morning for promoting health, but also promoting wakefulness before I get started on today's to do list. So, over here, I have my Young Living Aria diffuser. And y'all, this is a pricey item that is so worth the money. It really is superior to any diffuser that I've ever purchased. So today, because I've been struggling with allergies, I am going to put in some thieves oil, which is a combination of 5 essential oils. I actually like the smell of it. And I put about 4 drops of thieves, but this promotes immunity. The second one I'm going to put in is Raven, and Raven has menthol, eucalyptus, so it's definitely like a sinus clearing type essential oil. And then just to spice things up, because it's my favorite oil, I'm going to put a little bit of spearmint in there as well. And y'all, I do need a better, instead of a French bread holder, I need something else for my essential oils, but all in good time. So all you do is place the cover on, and then it comes with a remote, and you simply turn it on, and it will sound like a clock chiming. It has settings to run for 2 hours, 6 hours, or 12. So let's do 6. And it blinks to let us know. It also has an audio feature. So let me see if I can get it to play a little bit. It's very relaxing and soothing sounds. But as you can see, there is a really heavy mist that comes out. It's probably hard to see against the blue, and it changes colors. So I splurged this time, guys, but I'm going to learn to make my own cold brew because it's not hard. This is cold brew concentrate, just add water, and it's caramel dolce. And let's see if it has instructions. I never use the instructions. It's half concentrate and half water. I'm going to take that as a serving suggestion. So into my uber cool true mid-century modern glass, I'm going to put about half a glass of the cold brew. And then I do like the sugar-free flavored syrups. I don't like my hot coffee sweet, but I like cold sweet coffee. And then just the vanilla unsweetened almond milk. I'm going to top it off with that. And almond milk only has 30 calories and 8 ounces. The reason I stopped making my own almond milk, which I still can in a pinch, is it has 300 milligrams of calcium. I'm sorry, 450 milligrams of calcium. Now, it is supplemented in there because almonds don't have calcium in it, but I figure it's probably good for me. So here is my delicious pick me up so I can get going for today's video. I hope you'll stay tuned. We are going to talk about ways to save energy cost in your home. Well, good morning again. Cheers to morning, right? So I'm sure you all have been feeling the pinch, not only at the pump, at the grocery store, at anything you choose to buy, pinch, but I have really been feeling the pinch of my power bills. So just to give you an idea, I do have central air. I have central heating that runs on natural gas. I have an electric stove, but a gas water heater. So I'm paying a monthly gas bill, even if it's only a minimum. I also have a gas whole house generator that runs a weekly test. So that does utilize a tiny bit of natural gas. So I have been exploring ways that I can lower my energy usage, which is good for the environment, but also lower my energy cost as well, because that's important to my pocketbook. So I'm going to give you some of my top frugal tips for helping you to save money on your energy bills. It is, oh, I don't have my watch on yet. It is September 29th, I think. It's terrible when you don't work and write the date every day. Sometimes you forget what day it is. So we are past the first day of fall. The days are noticeably getting shorter. In November, we will be turning the clocks back, which will make it dark so early. I've never understood why we still change the clocks, but we do. So I've been focused on my energy consumption. We had one of the hottest summers on record. And just to be frank, I cannot stand to sleep upstairs in the heat of the summer, the 90, 100-degree days, without some ancillary air conditioning, which is a huge power draw. So I have been doing a little research, and I'm happy to report that it did make a difference this year. So I've tried to hide my personal information on my electric bill. But when you get your electric bill, most companies have a lot of good information. Now, I'm with AES. I think it's American Electrical Suppliers, but don't quote me on that. And what it will show you is your year over year. So the green is your this year's, the blue is last year's. So the blue is this year's, the green was last year's. So last year I used 749 kilowatts total for the month. This year I only used 713. And they also have year over year temperatures. So this was August bill, and it says for the same period last year, the average high was 85. For this year, only 82. I don't think that's correct. And then it also gives you average lows and what it was for the previous period, so you can see. I also went down from 748 from the previous month. So even with the extreme heat and not wanting to be miserable, and using that ancillary air conditioner, I have decreased my energy usage simply by doing a few easy steps. So I hope you'll stay tuned. So as I was doing my research, I learned, well, we all know rates have doubled and they've added on this gas and electrical supply charge. 1 in 6 Americans are now 60 days or greater in arrears on their power bills. Supply charges have definitely doubled, as well as the electric cost. And if you want to know how much you're paying per kilowatt hour for your electric, it is generally on the back here. So what are some of the ways that you can lower your energy consumption for heating and cooling, since we're going into change of seasons? So for AC, because not all of you live in a cold climate, you can actually raise your thermostat by 3 degrees, only 3 degrees. That sounds like a lot, but then use a solar fan, which I have shared before. And remember, fans cool people, not rooms, unless you are pulling or pushing hot or cold air in and out of a certain area of your home. So right now, my AC has been shut off to take advantage of the cooler nights. We've been down in the 40s. We've had a couple nights for a low of 39. So I'm taking advantage of those cooler nights, i.e. ragweed allergies, by opening up windows. But back to the changing your AC temperature and moving it up. For every degree, you're going to save 1 to 3% of your bill. So if you do it 3 degrees, you're going to be saving almost 10% of the energy portion, the energy usage portion of your bill. The same holds true when you're heating. Turn the heat down. And my house is always cold, but we're going to do something about that this year. Another thing, make sure that you clean your outdoor AC unit. So if you have bushes or fencing, and weeds grow up, and they'll actually grow underneath that grate that covers your central air unit, or even a portable, clean that out When the unit can appropriately breathe, it works more efficiently and it also pulls less electric. The next thing you need to do is to keep your furnace filter clean. So I'm going to take you into my laundry room, which is not the prettiest room of my house, but it is where my furnace unit is. And I'm going to show you some things that you might consider doing for your furnace filter. All right, y'all, don't judge. Don't come for me because it's dirty up here. So I'm actually standing on a stool. Here is where my furnace filter, an AC filter, resides. So the people that installed it put on here what type furnace filter I needed, which is a 20 by 20 by 4. So if you're getting new AC or heating installed, you can actually choose which filter size and type you want for most furnaces. So instead of the little skinny filter, I have the great big box filter. Now I will share a little tip with you. Walmart in my area has never carried the big box type filters. Okay, there's dust everywhere. Sorry about that. So I would have to go to Lowe's or Home Depot, one of those type stores. And I found that these were 30 bucks a pop. So $60 a year just for furnace filters. However, on Amazon, I was able to find these filter buys. And guys, you can always send it back if it doesn't fit, but it fits fine. And they come with a little area here, and I know you probably can't see it, but if you can see, I'm in the corner, that you can put the date installed. So this was installed August 8th, 2022. I just had my system serviced. So I had changed the filter. Let me show you. Oh, so my filter is fairly clean. You can, even though this is supposed to last 6 months, okay, see here it's pulled some junk out. You can actually vacuum these, but I don't recommend that you use them longer than what it says. There is research that says if you have the 1-inch filters, don't buy the high quality Filtrete that filters out the allergens. They're less expensive and you could change them more frequently. The one disadvantage to a Filtrete or an allergen filtering filter is they pull more pollutants out of the air, so they clog up faster, which decreases the energy efficiency of your central heating and air. I'm sorry, guys, it's hard to talk when you're this congested. So that you go through them a little quicker, or they decrease the efficiency of your heating and cooling much faster than the cheaper filters. I am not unhappy with having the large box filters. It works for me. I just vacuum them out, and I'm actually due. I should have done it already this month that I haven't, but it does definitely make a difference, not only in the efficiency of your heating and cooling, but also in the dust and debris that gets into your air. So let's go on to the next tip. So if you are on Social Security, on a fixed income, like myself, there are low income and elderly subsidy programs. So simply go to the website for your energy supplier. They will have links. I know this year, because of the ongoing effects of the V, they do have some one-time $500 subsidies available, at least from my energy supplier area. I think they're all government programs. I don't qualify, but I think it's a great thing. So if you have senior parents or yourself, no shame in taking advantage of programs that are designed to help you out in these trying times. Another thing that you might do is, do y'all have a financial advisor? Now, I'm not like Richie Rich, so please don't think that. However, because of being divorced for 26 years, something like that, I had first an IRA, then 401ks that I needed help managing to make the most of my money. And financial advisors often have information about low cost energy suppliers, the best rates, etc. So don't forget to take advantage. And guys, just so you know, financial advisors, if they're managing your money, they're free for their information. Now, if they're managing your retirement funds, they may take a portion, so just make sure you know that. But utilize that. My financial advisor has done so many things for me, from getting on Medicare to advising me how to best protect my funds. All right. So I know that I'm going to tell you to spend money to save money, and I'll link the one that I have below. But there are kilowatt meters that you could use that you plug into the wall. And I'm going to take you over and show you mine and just show you how energy usage is kind of surprising on certain items. So you can plug in your device, and mine, you can program your cost of electricity. So you plug it in and it will show you how much per hour it is going to cost you to run that item. So if you're prone to leaving things on just because it's easier, so maybe you, I'm trying to think of something you would leave on, a light, even things that you're leaving plugged in, you can leave them plugged in and turned off, and it will show you what your phantom electric usage is. So let's go into the kitchen. I'm going to plug a couple things in and just show you how beneficial it is to know what you're actually using, so you can make decisions about what makes sense to turn on and off. All right, y'all. I got a little buddy here that wants to say, "Good morning. I'm putting on my winter coat." Yes, I know, hanky panky Frankie. I had a very sweet message from a brand new subscriber, so welcome to you. I won't call you out by name. That said, "I can't tell what's on the counter in the corner of your kitchen. Is that a ferret or a cat?" And I'm like, "No, that's Hanky Panky Frankie." So he is still Hanky Panky Frankie, but he's my bud. All right, so here I have, let me just pull it out, the kilowatt reading meter, and I'm going to try to tell you what brand it is, y'all. Oh, it's called a power meter. It is not, well, I'll link it. How about that? So it has different buttons down here. You can read the little instructions, and you can actually program in your cost per kilowatt hour. So I've already done that. I'm going to plug it in, and you can see this timing up here is from the last thing I plugged in because I was testing it. So let's just try here with cute little spooky Halloween lights. So I'm going to plug it in, and you want to let it, kind of settle out. So you can see this only uses 9.8 watts. So not a huge pull, right? But leaving it plugged in all the time is going to cost me electrical usage. But I want to show you, oh, y'all, my Jura coffee maker. So any device, oh, for goodness sakes, that heats, I did not think this through, so pardon me, is going to use a lot more electricity. So I've plugged it in. Because it doesn't have a remote, I don't see any phantom usage going on, but y'all watch this. Mug under here because it's probably going to rinse. Yeah, see it jumping up? Now, it's just heating right now, but we are talking 1,354 seems to be where it's settling at. And so far it's used 4.2 watts. So it's switching back and forth between what it's pulling and how much it's pulled for the time you've had it plugged in. As soon as it heats, I'm going to actually make a cup of water. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. I don't use a lot of water. Here we go. I want you to watch what it does. 1391, 98, 96, 95. So it definitely jumps up while it's functioning, while it's heating, while it's rinsing. We're up to 1400 watts. So it's definitely a big puller. Now, am I going to stop with the coffee? Why, no. No, I am not. But it is good to know. You know, most coffee makers have the auto shut off, but I'm not going to leave this on. As soon as I finish with my coffee for the morning, a couple cups, I'm going to shut it off. Oh my word, how long is this going to take? All right, so now it is settled down. Let's wait for it to switch back and see what it's pulling just sitting on. And it may be 4.1 watts. Now, the cost hasn't come up because it hasn't run long enough to really tell you how much, but that will give you an idea what it's pulling. So let me scooch this out the way, and let's take a look at something like an electric heater. All right. So I'm going to plug her in, and as you see, this has phantom power. So it's pulling 0.3 kilowatts per hour, which is not a lot, but it does. And if you do this all over your house, y'all, you're going to find out all kinds of things are pulling power, all kinds of things. So let me turn this on. Maybe that's off. There we go. Can you tell I haven't used this? So watching the meter, let me scooch all closer. 846, 8. Okay, you can see it. It is going up like crazy. Ooh, and it's putting out some nice heat. So while this is not a super high kilowatt usage, as the heater or the fan keeps going, the heater will actually kick in. It takes about 20 seconds, and this is pulling over 1,000 kilowatts per hour. No, fine. Okay, that's my cost. Quit. Okay, so it is already on overload. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, it's not. I pushed a button. So this is going to run about 1,000 watts per hour. And I can tell you all, nothing is going to be more efficient at heating and cooling your house than your central heating and cooling, unless you have an extremely inefficient or problematic type device. Some of you may be thinking, I don't need a kilowatt meter. I need to just use less electricity or gas. And while that's very true, I have found the meter to be very, very helpful in a couple of ways for me. One, it makes me more aware of what's critical to be unplugged because it's using a lot of phantom electricity, or if it's really cold or really hot, what devices do I want to use? And I do have a solar fan that makes a huge difference for me in the summer when it's super, super hot. And I've shared that on a previous video, and it's a great device to have too if we have no power and you don't have a generator. One thing I do want to caution you about is your awareness of the problem of mold. So if your home humidity level is consistently 60% or higher, you're at a lot greater risk to get mold problems and mold growing. So think about your restroom and your shower stall and your tub. You know how it gets the mold on it? That's because bathrooms are typically a very high humidity environment. And if you're not using an exhaust fan, it may take a while for that humidity level to drop. So in the winter here, I'm very blessed that my control panel for my heating and air, my thermostat, oh my word, words are hard. Um, it shows the humidity level of the house. So in the summer, even with the air running this year, because I live in the armpit of Ohio, I think it's the armpit of the United States, it's very humid climate. My humidity stayed 53%, which isn't tremendously comfortable, but it's certainly better than the 90 some percent that it has been outside. Now, when we switch over to winter, I will struggle with like a 30 to 35% humidity level in the house. Becomes extremely dry because it's so cold that, and so dry outside that the furnace takes all the humidity, the blowing takes all the humidity out of the house. So you could use a humidifier. I like to use my diffusers, and they are ultrasonic. So they put a very fine mist in. I've never had a mold problem from them. Just be aware that you need to monitor that. And they also have like the indoor, I think it's called a hygrometer. Oh no, don't quote me on that. Like a barometer, but it'll have like your barometric pressure, your temperature, but it will also do humidity if you want to know what your humidity levels are in the house. I could almost tell you what mine are because Frankie gets really bad static, and every time you try to pet him, he gets shocked. And any time he lays on a comforter blanket thing that I use, you know, those fleecy ones, he gets really big and poofy because he gets static. All right, another item. Programmable thermostats. They've come way down in cost, way down. I've even seen them now at Walmart, but any of your big box stores will probably have them. So how many times have you gone to bed before I had programmable and you're like, oh crap, I forgot to turn the air down or up or heat, and I'm not getting out of bed to do it and going downstairs. So you're utilizing a lot of energy. So having that programmable thermostat. So what I have mine do, because I like it cool at night, I actually run my air at 77 during the day, 75 at night. My heat, I run it at 62 to 65 during the day and 58 at night because I'm under a blanket and I don't mind it being cool. So consider a programmable thermostat for sure. Also, when you are replacing appliances, go for those low energy appliances. Y'all, they make such a difference. I had an antique chest type freezer when I first moved here that the former owners left. And that thing was such an energy hog, and it also wasn't frost free. Then I purchased a chest type freezer, which also was not one of the low energy ones because it was like, you know, like a Walmart purchase. And it used a tremendous amount of electricity. Now I have an upright freezer and it uses a lot less electricity than my old chest type freezer did. So consider that as you're replacing. In my new range, Cindy is a low energy appliance. So think about also ways you are utilizing electricity. And we're primarily talking about electricity here. So y'all know I love to cook. I make most of my food. I very rarely go out to eat. Although I have to say, if you saw my live, those McDonald's chicken McNuggets tasted amazing. That was the first time at 61 I'd ever had McDonald's chicken McNuggets. But anyway, so if you were using an electric oven, like a regular electric oven, it uses about 45 cents an hour. So think about when you're doing the self-clean, yeah, it's gonna jack up your electric usage during that period. An electric stovetop uses about 25 cents an hour. So if you're canning or if you're simmering soup, that's about what you can expect. A toaster oven, which y'all might finally went to toaster oven heaven. Um, I still have it and it still works, but it looks pretty sad, just saying. It uses 17 cents an hour. A microwave uses 13 cents an hour, but remember, that can depend on the wattage of your microwave. And also, microwaves cook things a lot faster, so it may be easier for you to microwave something right quick than to cook it on the stove and it take a long time. And one of the things I think of are pot pies. I know they're bad for you. So if you have to cook a pot pie for 45 minutes in an oven, you're going to be using 3/4 of 45 cents. Whereas you can microwave it for 8 minutes and you're going to be using 90 some cents. So you have to weigh. And guys, you don't have to be this particular. I'm just giving you information so you can think about it. So here's one thing I found very interesting. A crock pot only uses 2 to 3 cents an hour. So if you're doing a roast, just a little planning ahead, you can use so much less power by using a crock pot. If it's summer, it doesn't heat your house up as badly, and that's also a plus. And then let's not forget, if you have a solar oven, it's free. You can just use the power of the sun. So I have been taking advantage of that. I have not made one thing that I did not like in it. I am finding this late in the season, the sun is not as high in the sky, so it is taking a little bit longer. So just planning ahead for meals and using a meal planner, note to self, that does make a big difference. All right, I want to show you another item, but I'm going to have to take you over into my great room, and that is a new power strip. I will leave a link to this. It was about $10. So what is different about this power strip, maybe I don't really even need to show you, is, it has all the little plugins. It has 2 that are always on, and then the others has a switch. So if you don't want to leave, I don't have cable, but cable box is a huge power draw. If you don't want to leave that drawing phantom electricity because it has a clock, right? You can put it in the on-demand side, and there are 4 on-demands, 2 always on. So I have my computer, which I never turn off, and I should, plugged in to my always on, and my lamp, because it's a vintage lamp and it doesn't have any phantom power. Other things like my phone charger, things like that, I have it on the on-demand side. Another idea is, if you have ceiling fixtures with multiple bulbs, whether it's a ceiling fan or just a round light with multiples inside the bowl, if it's bright enough for you, go ahead and unscrew or take out some of the light bulbs. You don't have to have it lit up completely all of the time. Pardon me. Another idea for your energy company, create an online account. And they have some pretty good energy saving tips. So this comes with my bill, and they talk about prices on this one, but a lot of times they do have energy saving tips. They also offer free energy audits. Now, I will say that with the caveat that they are trying to sell products, but a lot of times they will have products at reduced prices. I don't need an energy audit because I know I need new windows and doors and insulation and all the things, and they're just going to tell me that. So coming up, guys, we are going to be doing a 2-part video. I'm going to start on it today, on winterizing the homestead, and I'm going to share with you what things you might consider doing if you have a big old leaky house like I do. Another thing about creating that online account, it could show you daily usage depending on the company you're using. So it can make you more aware of your personal habits. So like for me, maybe I'm always baking like at, you know, 3 o'clock in the afternoon every day, where I could consolidate that, especially now that I have the double oven, and or you know, have a dedicated baking day. I'm so bad for that. I just need to do that. They also have incentives and rebates for certain energy efficient items, like a new appliance, for LED lights, light bulbs. That's another great way you can really save money, y'all. And power strips. So don't forget to create your online account. So, switching over to thinking about heat, because that's all I'm thinking about. One of the big things, guys, is don't go around without shoes on or slippers in the house. And if you're worried about your flooring or your carpet, just have a dedicated inside pair of shoes. We lose a lot of heat. When your feet are cold, you are miserable. We lose it through our head and our feet. So I have quite the selection of slippers because I hate shoes and I go barefoot all summer, but it really does make a difference if you wear shoes or slippers. If you program your thermostat to match up with your habits, you can expect a 10 to 12% savings on your heating cost. I mean, how amazing is that? Another thing is, you know, in the summer and in the fall, we may have windows open. Make a tour of your house and make sure all your windows and doors are locked. That will, most windows, when you push that lock over, it pulls it up tight and it really stops a lot of the cold leaking in or warm leaking out. You want to seal your window leaks. So there is a product called Mortite, Mortight, and I have a box of it somewhere, but I could not locate it to show you. So I have ordered some more, but it's kind of like a putty, and it doesn't damage your windows or your paint or whatever, but you can push it into cracks. So you can take like a candle, a lighter, you could use a stick of incense, and, you know, go around your windows, and it will help you identify leaks. Some of my leaks are so big that it's not hard to see them. So I don't even need the candle. Another thing that you might consider are window kits. So this is made by duct tape, and this is the shrink film, and it will do 10 3x5 windows. So yes, indeed, we are going to be doing this as we winterize the homestead, at least for the windows that I know leak a lot. If you don't want to do this, guys, save your bubble wrap from your Amazon deliveries, and you can wet your window, stick the bubble wrap to it, and it creates like a surface tension, and it will stick. Now, is it the prettiest thing in the world? No, it is not. But I prefer warmth and money savings over looks for sure. You also might consider the rolled draft catchers. It's hard for me to say, that you can put at the bottom of your doors. I actually put insulated sweeps. They have an adhesive strip. You pull it off, you put it at the bottom of your door, and it has the foam. It's like a pool noodle on the inside, and it really has made a difference in the summer. Another thing is, if you get a lot of leakage from outlets on outside walls, you can buy the insulating foam. And guys, I don't recommend that you do anything but the store-bought, because you don't want to start an electrical fire, and those are specifically made. They have cutouts, you know, for the outlets, and that can make a big difference. So all of my wind comes from the west, and when I painted, I noticed that my foam insulators are, well, they were pretty much deteriorated, you know, cracked, and they've only been there for like 22 years. So I need to get new ones of those. So I hope today's video will inspire you, will help you to think of some things that you can do to save yourself pennies in these times. I tell you, things keep going up, don't they? As a reminder, don't forget to be stocking your pantry, y'all. I am starting to see shortages in my area. I know it's different depending on where you are. Pardon me. So I wanted to buy some distilled water, because I use it for my soap making and I like to use it in my diffusers. Walmart had not one single gallon of water, spring water, drinking water, distilled water, nothing in the whole store, and their bottled water was severely impacted, which, we're not in the path of Hurricane Ian, so I don't, well, we are going to get rain from it, but, not forecasted to have inclement weather, so I don't know whether a lot of those water supplies were diverted. I'm not really sure what the cause was, but at any rate, don't forget to be stocking up. So I am going to be working outside today in the cold, hence the Pfeiffer Orchard heavy sweatshirt plus another shirt underneath it and sweatpants. But I'm going to go out and start winterizing the homestead. So I hope you'll stay tuned for a two-parter next week on what I do to get ready for winter outside and inside on the homestead. If you haven't already, I'd greatly appreciate it if you'd smash that like button. Drop me a comment below. What ideas do you have for lowering your energy usage cost? I'd love to hear it, and I'd be glad to share that on a separate video because you all have great ideas and you teach me a lot. All right, so until I see you again, be healthy, be well, be blessed. Take care.